DX or RagChew or whatever. You may use something else. So let's hear what you use. And excuse me. I think most people probably use Windows. I don't. I use Linux in the shack only because I use a computer that I got for nothing, and I didn't have a license of Windows to put on it, so I put Linux on there, and I'm familiar with Linux anyway. So I use a piece of logging software called CQR Log, and it seems to work pretty well. It integrates, you can do cat control with your radio from it, and you can upload to Club Log and Logbook of the World and all that stuff from right in there, and works pretty well in that regard. So that is the topic of the night, logging software, and like I said, this is by request, so we want to make sure we get as much great information out there as we can. So let's get some check-ins first, though, before we get to that, and we'll start out as we always do by taking mobile and low power stations. If you're in the car, we want to make sure to
repeater time out. Repeater time out.
Scott, you timed it out, HJ4.
I got ticked off at you.
Wow, I didn't realize I went on and blathered as long as I did. Okay, I don't know what you caught, but we're going to take mobile no power station check-ins now. So if you're mobile, you're in the car and want to check in or low power, call form control now.
KM4 PPL, my first name is Jamie. KM4 Papa Lima.
Form control. Please check in AJ4TF mobile for just a short time.
KM4 PPL mobile. KM4 Papa Lima. Short time.
All right, gotcha, guys. Thank you. And since you both are not going to be in the vehicle all that much longer, we'll get to you right away. Jamie, good to hear you tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're around. I hope you can come back. KM4PPL, thanks a lot. And David, good to hear you again. We'll get to you right away. So let's get to Jamie first, KM4PPL. How are things going tonight? Jamie, I don't know. It sounds like you might be fresh at this. Have you had any chance to look at any logging software yet?
Negative. I just keep a little tablet here. I keep a notebook in. Anytime I get a new login, I get the call sign and the name, and then I'll just reference it to the FCC call sign in case I didn't get the name. So that's what's been working for me, and then maybe I'll just upload it to an Excel spreadsheet. But no, I have no login software at this time. Over.
All right, no problem. Well, this will work out well for you then, because there are a lot of smart people on here who use all sorts of really nifty stuff. So hopefully you can get something out of this. That'll be great. But thanks for joining us. I appreciate it a lot. Good to meet you. And come back. We'll do this again every Sunday night. All right, on to David, AJ4TF. What's going on? David, thanks for joining us again tonight.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for running the forum, as always. And good to hear Jamie, KM4PPL. Jamie was one of 8 applicants we had at the last test session. That's 8. Biggest session we've had in quite a while. But he passed, obviously. He's got his license, as you can hear. And good to hear him. And everybody else that participated at our last session. Great job by all the VEs and all the folks who upgraded and got licensed. Let it drop, so don't do what you did, Scott. Logging software. Well, I really have a couple that I have fixated on. I've been using something called Xlog for several years. It's Linux-based and works pretty well. Integrates with FLDigi, which is important to me since I use that a lot as far as logging. I just hit, as long as both programs are open, I hit the log button on FLDigi and it goes into Xlog. It's all auto-match magic. The other one that I use reluctantly is the HRD logbook, and I only use that when I'm running WSJTX, Windows-based JT9, JT65 program. But I don't really keep my log up there. I just export it to Xlog, which is where everything else is. Then from there, I can easily upload to Logbook of the World periodically. That's about it. I've got to run now, so I'll be back in a few minutes. AJ4TF, back to forum control.
No problem, David. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, this is neat. I looked at Xlog when I was trying to find some logging software. I don't remember why I didn't end up using it, and I ended up using CQR log instead. I don't recall exactly what it did, but I know that it's fairly popular on Linux. That's pretty cool, and I'm glad that that setup's working out for you. All right, let's get to the rest of the check-ins. We'll see what everybody else has to say tonight. We don't want to hold things up here, and don't want to burn the repeater up either by talking too much myself. So we're going to go forwards this time. So if the suffix of your call sign, which is the part after the number, the first letter after the number of your call sign, that's the first part of the suffix. If that starts with alpha through golf, it's your turn to check into the tech forum now. So so call forum control if you want to check in.
Good evening, Scott. From November 4, Bravo, Yankee United, N4BYU. The name is Roy. Pleasant Garden. Just got it turned on good.
Please check in WA2 Bravo Alpha Juliet, Joe in Greensboro.
Scott, can you hear me over the dead key?
Sir, I can. You're coming through over top of it. Oh, I think it just went away. I don't know if someone was trying to check in or if somebody was just holding the transmit button down. If you were trying to check in, we didn't get any audio from you, and it sounded, I thought maybe it was a check-in because came and then let up and then went back again. So if you want to give it one more shot, we'll see if we can hear you. Alright, there was still no audio that time either, so let's do this. If you want to check it out and see if you can figure out what's going on and give it a shot a little later on, at the end we'll call for everybody and you can give it one more shot, but let's keep moving on now, get the other people checked in. That'll give you a little time to sort out what's going on with that. In any case, I got Roy, N4BYU, and Joe, WA2BAJ. Thanks for being here tonight. We'll get back to you fine fellows here in just a minute. So we did Alpha through Golf. If you want to check in the tech forum, let's do Hotel through Papa. The suffix to your call sign starts with Hotel through Papa. Call forum control now.
Control. Please check in. Kilo Bravo 1 Papa, Tom in Oak Ridge.
Net control. Please check in Kilo Mike for Hotel X-Ray Victor, Paul in Northeast Guilford County. Good evening, Scott.
Control, please check in Kilo 4 Papa Oscar Oscar.
All right, got Tom KB1P. Thanks for being here. You're coming in strong tonight. Tom, sounding great. Same with you, Paul. You're very strong. KM4HXV. Thanks for joining us. And I got KK4POO. I think that is. You're a little bit weak, but I didn't catch a name. Can you come back with and just let me know your first name, please?
Nathan.
Is that Nathan? Did I hear Nathan right?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. And I should say this is KV4UP with Sunday Night Tech Forum on W4GSO Repeater. All right, anybody else in, let's see, Hotel Through Papa? Anybody else Hotel Through Papa want to check in the Tech Forum tonight? Well, there was that phantom signal again. I didn't catch any audio out of that one, so you might have a little bit more work to do if you're trying to check in. Sorry about that. All right, let's do the final part of the alphabet, Quebec through Zulu. If you want to check in the Tech Forum and the suffix to your call sign starts Quebec through Zulu. Call forum control now. All right, good to hear you, Cameron. Your antenna is blowing it away. Sound great. Good to hear you. Thanks for being here tonight. All right, if you want to join the Tech Forum, anybody, anywhere, Alpha through Zulu, call forum control now. All right, we'll not hear anything. We'll start back up at the top of the list, and I figured it might be a little light just because of Christmas, but that's okay, and maybe some more people will join us as we go along. You know, one of the things, as Jamie and David were talking about logging a little bit ago, that it just kind of reminded me, all day yesterday I worked on putting power in our minivan. We take a long trip up north to visit family twice a year, and I bought an HF rig for my truck to cart around. It's a little bit older. It's an Elenco DX70TH, but I've been having a lot of fun with it. I probably made more HF contacts just driving to and from work than I have on my base radio in the last month, just because it's time that I have kind of uninterrupted, but I wanted to have it in the van for our trip, and I worked all day yesterday on getting an antenna mount installed and getting power ran from the battery inside the cabin and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that I've ran into with making mobile contacts is logging, and Chris K4HC has suggested using a mini log, and he got one when he and I went down to Shelby, and it's paper, of course. It's really hard to do kind of electronic logging in a car, but I haven't got one of those yet, so I've just been writing on scraps of paper, and I have a pile of scraps of paper sitting on top of my base station here in the house that I need to put into my electronic log, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. So whatever electronic log you have, you know, maybe it'd be worth seeing if there's something where you can put it in a phone or something and have it transfer over. I know there are a couple things like that, at least something where you can upload a Logbook of the World, a club log, or something along those lines. So something to keep in mind, anyway, that I've run into. Anyway, all right, the top of the list is Roy, N4BYU. Good to hear you tonight, Roy. You're sounding awfully good, and I appreciate you being here. What's going on?
Well, the biggest thing right now is that Mama's dog doesn't want to go out because she is up in the hospital. She, Saturday morning about, 9, 10 o'clock, she broke her hip. And her blood was too thin to, that was yesterday morning, and the blood was too thin to operate Saturday night, and they're going to do it this morning, and it was too thin. So now, I guess maybe if it's not too thin, they'll do it tomorrow. So and it's my dog, but it lives with her, and she stays in the bedroom, and finally today she came in the living room, and I guess I'm going to have to do some cleaning up before it's over with, or she's going to pop. I don't know which. I did not hear the very first, Scott, but by you speaking of the logging, I'm curious. There is a lot of logging for smartphones. I don't know whether you've got a real phone or an iPhone, but there's quite a bit of good for this out there. If you're looking for plain old logs, it looks like HRD is about cornered the market. But Log4OM, LOG4OM. I've been playing with it, and it looks like it will do about anything you want. If I'm reading it correctly, automatically upload to Logbook and everything else. I've got all mine. My biggest thing that I want to go in and just say I've worked these and mark them off. And I have not found a way other than just lying to it and tell it I've got F4 ABC, G4 ABC. I just hate to do that. But anyway, that's my biggest thing I like to do is how to show them all worked, and then just unwork a few. And I'm curious, has anybody heard North Korea? I saw it spots the other day, and I wonder if anybody worked it. That's number 1. N4, BYU. You're sounding good, as usual.
Well, thanks, Roy. You know, I have not actually been on the radio enough to see if I can hear North Korea, but I know, well, Chris K4EC is looking intently and trying to figure out how to be able to hear them, and I guess I haven't heard whether he has actually heard them or not. Nope, he just got on the hangout and said he's not hearing them. So I think that one's going to be rough. But you know what? Keep an ear out. You never know what the propagation is going to be like, or what could change, or you know, you might get some sort of a duck somehow, somewhere, or whatever. But yeah, could get it on a fluke. That would be awesome. In any case, thanks for being here tonight. I'm sorry to hear about your mother. That's really terrible, and I hope that she gets better soon and gets out of the hospital soon, because that's the last thing you want to do is stay in that place all that long. So we're praying and thinking about her and hoping everything goes well there. All right, let's move on to Joe, WA2BAJ. What's going on tonight, Joe? How are things going?
Hello, Scott and Annette, WA2BAJ. Well, things are going. Thank God they're going. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. My logging is not elaborate. I do the same scraps of paper. Sometimes I forget to put the date on them. That frustrates me. And then I keep the data on an Excel spreadsheet. And that's the way I've been doing it for years and years. I haven't got everything on the spreadsheet yet because my logs go back to 1956. And I'm only back around 1970. So I've got a lot of things to put in there, but I'm glad they got a lot of rows on those spreadsheets. But that's about it, Scott. I probably should learn more about how to run that spreadsheet, because I can probably pick out parts of it that I want and all that kind of thing, but I've got very bad eyes. So I'm just thankful that I got a 30-inch monitor, and I plug all my computers into that and can almost see it. My accuracy is rather poor because I don't see clearly. Thanks for having me, Scott. Everybody have a great Christmas. I'll turn it back to net control. WA2, Bravo Alpha Juliet in Greensboro.
All right, Joe. Well, no problem at all. You know, sometimes something simple like that, if it works for you, a spreadsheet could be just fine. And, you know, like I say, whatever works the best for you. If you had to make them really quickly, it might not be the easiest way to do it, but If you're not, then it doesn't matter that much, does it? That's great. I'm glad you figured out something that works for you. And Excel, you know what, it might just be as good as anything else in some situations. So, great. And, you know, Roy mentioned Log4OM a little bit ago. I know I've looked at that. It's a Windows program, which I'd love to have. But maybe if anybody else has used that, you can let us know how it works for you. All right, let's get on to Oak Ridge and Tom, KB1P. How are you doing, Tom? What's going on?
This is KB1P, Tom in Oak Ridge. Doing great. Thanks for running the net. And just like Joe, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. The log that I use is WinLog32. I started it when I first became a ham, and it's a very simple log. It can connect to your computer and take the frequencies and call and time down automatically. And it does pretty good updates to the logbook of the world. I've tried others, but I've always gone back to WinLog32. It's the first one, and I'm more comfortable with it. Back to you. This is KB1P.
W8CCW.
Hey, John, I got you. We're hearing you. I don't know if that was you before, but you came through that time. You want me to put you at the end of the list?
That'll be fine.
All right, man, sounds good. We'll do. And, Tom, that's cool. WinLog32. I don't know that I've seen it before, but it might be worth checking out. I don't know if that's something that's still available or if it's something that's kind of legacy, but I'm sure a Google search will let us know about all that. And, you know, I guess if it works out for you and it's something you're comfortable with and you learn it and you know it and you're fast at it, hey, why not do that, you know? Oh, Chris just sent a link. I think I'm making notes of these things, and I'll try to post all these things in the forums on the w4gso.org website. Oh, there it is. Look at that. You can still get it. Isn't that nice? If I could multitask better, I could probably look some of this stuff up as we go along. But thanks, Chris. And cool, Tom. That's great. Yeah, you know, I've had all sorts of people always try to give me advice about things I should change or do different, and sometimes just what you know, if you're fast at it because you've learned it really well, just works as well as anything else. All right, on to Paul, KM4HXV. What's going on, Paul? How are you doing tonight?
Good evening, Scott, and everybody on the tech net. Doing well. Been a good weekend. I enjoyed cooking some Boston butts yesterday on the smoker. Really good eating. And for all those y'all want to know, I'm the one that asked about the logging because fairly new ham to HF. Got my general and been making some HF contacts. I printed me off some log sheets just off the site, generic, and I've been logging on everything like that till I heard this tech tonight so I could figure out maybe what's the best for me for electronic log. We'll drop. And yeah, Roy had told me about the LOG4OM. I've looked at that site, and I have checked out WinLog32 also. And I kind of like it. It looks like it's pretty simple to operate, and that's what I was looking for starting off. I also looked at the QRZ site and kind of set that up, but I haven't logged anything yet. But really appreciate all the information because some of us new hams aren't really sure about this and how it works. But I really want to start logging all my calls and get them in there before they pile up on paper, I guess. So I appreciate the tech next night. And Roy, prayers for your mom. Hope everything turns out well. Back to you, Scott, KM4HXV.
All right, no problem, Paul. I'm glad you're here, and I hope this helps you out. I think this is neat. You know, I know that for a long time it's a little bit more limited on Linux. If you run on Windows, you probably have a lot more options, but I spent a good amount of time trying to figure out what the heck to do, and I feel pretty good about what I have now, but, you know, if I went a different direction, I'd have even more. So I'm in the same boat with you, and I really enjoy listening and hearing what other people have used, so that's pretty neat. All right, let's see here, KK4POO, Nathan. Nathan, how are you doing? I'm not sure if you've been on the forum, but I'm glad you're here tonight, and I hope you're doing well. What's going on?
Right now I'm mobile, so if I'm breaking in and out,
Well, Nathan, I think we just lost you. Just coming back and see if you can make it in any better. But hopefully I got what you said correct so far. Go ahead. All right. Well, maybe Nathan will join us a little bit later on. He can do a recheck a little later if he gets in a little bit better position. But I think I got the gist of what he was trying to say there. So, in any case, Nathan, thanks for joining us tonight. If you don't check back, that's all right. But I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. All right, down at High Point, Cameron, AJ4TW. How are things going, Cameron? I know you've got some experience with this stuff. What do you think? All right, man. Well, that's great. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for putting the time and effort into that. That's excellent. I don't know. I haven't seen statistics about how many people listen to these things after the fact, but I think it's pretty neat we can do that, and I'm sure that if people run across them, they're very useful. So I don't think it's time wasted at all. I think it's an excellent idea, and I'm really glad you're doing that. Thank you. And yeah, Ham Radio Deluxe, that seems to be very popular. I think, like Roy said a little while ago, I think they got the market cornered, so that's pretty neat. I am going to go now to K4HC Chris. He didn't check in over the air, but he checked in via proxy. So we're going to get to him. He's got a lot of options that he's going to inform us about. How are things going tonight, Chris? What's going on with you? By the way, let me say this is KV4EP with a tech forum before I forget. All right, over to Chris. How's it going?
Good evening, Scott, everybody on the net. This is Chris, K4HC up Northwest Greensboro. With electronic logging, well, there are many options as have been discussed. I echo Cameron's recommendations. I use Ham Radio Deluxe for my general operating. If I'm operating in a contest, N1MM Plus, HRD Ham Radio Deluxe does a very good job for general logging. It does integrate with Logbook of the World and with Club Log, which is another tool that I use for country tracking. N1MM Plus, because it was designed for contesting, tends to do a better job for that. It shows the available multipliers, has spotting network, band maps of where the stations are, calculates the score automatically. It does a number of things that are unique to contesting. Recognize that that's not everybody's bent. You may not be interested in contesting at all, although I will mention it's a great way to work all states or to work your first DXCC, or add new countries. Lots of stations are on sweepstakes, both phone and CW this year. I worked all 83 ARRL and RAC sections, so by default I worked all states twice this year, each time less than 24 hours. It can be a lot of fun, requires a little butt in the chair time, like everybody knows. There are a number of other ones that are available. I've sent a list of some of the ones that have been talked about, as well as some others that I'm familiar with. DX Lab Suite is a very popular free program. N3FJP is a paid program, but he seems to do a pretty good job. He has some specialized logs for other things like field day. Link for WinLog32 and HRD also were provided to Scott, so I think he's probably going to put that up on the GARA forums. That's really about all I got. Let's see, let me reset real quick. Don't want to do that timeout thing. When you do log, strongly encourage you to log in UTC. The UTC date and the UTC time. For example, right now it's 0108 UTC on the 21st of December. For local time, it's the 20th of December at 8:08 p.m. or 20:08 local time. But especially with working DX, you've got to be consistent with everyone, and the standard is to log in UTC. So strongly encourage you to start that habit early. Some of my early novice logs, I had to sit down and figure out what time of year it was to convert it to UTC, and a couple of times I got it wrong, and I had to go back through and redo it and re-enter it and re-upload it to try and get some confirmations. That's about it for me, Scott. Hope you're doing well. Hope that added some benefit to the conversation. KV4UP and the net, K4HC.
Yes, sir, that's excellent. That's really great. And added bonus, some extra good operating procedure with logs anyway, so there you go. Perfect. Thank you for that. And you're right, I'll put this list of logging software up on the forum of the w4gso.org site here in a little while once we're all through. And I think I got all the ones that you sent by. Yeah, I may add the Linux one that I use because it's not on my list yet. But who knows if anybody will use that anyway. But that's all right. I know that David is a little kindred spirit with that. So there we go. All right, let's see here. Now to Julian. I remember, John. W8CCW, how's it going? What's going on tonight?
Well, I guess I am victimized by one of the greater problems that a spoiled ham radio operator has, and I have too many radios going here this evening, and I'm currently talking on a valve phone with the outside J pole. That's my fallback position. But the problem before was I was attempting to log on to the net with the Flex, and as most people are aware, and I probably provide a lot of entertainment out there, I do not always get the Flex set up properly, particularly when I'm moving to between VHF and HF. So that's what all that was about. But fear not, it's going to get worse because Santa has already delivered my D-Star radio, and I'm going to be trying to figure out how to get that up. And I do have lots of help. It's just that I have this problem of trying to understand what they're trying to tell me. And as I may have got to before, I do have a little problem with this Ham Radio Deluxe logging. Since I switched over to the non-free version, this thing keeps asking me about a database, and I really don't know what it's talking about. It seems to be working okay. It's just that it's very inopportune times, and I enjoyed logging a few contacts yesterday. There was a contest going on sideband, and I worked a few, and when I logged them, sometimes they made the log, and sometimes the log held me up. Since it seems to be working for the moment, I can't even ask the question now. So that's about the longest I can talk, having said nothing worthwhile. W8CCW.
Well, John, I'm sorry about the problems with the Flex, but I'm glad you have a backup solution. The Baofeng the audio sounded a little funny, but you were coming through pretty strong. There was not really any noise on your sound at all, so it's working for you. But I'm just glad you're here and you joined us tonight, despite the problems earlier. So you'll get them straightened out. You always do, and you're very tenacious about that. So I appreciate that about you. And stick with it with the log or with the ham radio deluxe too. I'm sure, you know, that just like everything, you get little kinks when you first put it in, and they eventually work out as the time goes by as you spend with it. So. But at least it gets, I guess if it gets 50% of them in there, that's better than 0%, right? Oh, you'll get it. No worries. All right, let's see if anybody else wants to join us tonight for the Tech Forum tonight. This is KV4UP, by the way. If you want to join us for the Tech Forum, call Forum Control now. Anybody anywhere, Alpha to Zulu, call Forum Control to join us for the Tech Forum. Well, not hearing anything. I suppose it's going to do it for us tonight. And that doesn't mean the conversation's over. Of course, we can continue to talk about it after the forum is officially closed, or once I get these things posted on the forum page of the website. That could be another place to continue the conversation if you have any questions or thoughts. A lot of these have web links, so you can go to the websites if you want to know more information about these particular pieces of software. Otherwise, I know that some of us have used some of them, and if you want to know more detail about how they actually work in real life and real operation, just put a call on the repeater. You know, a lot of us are still going to be around after the fact, and I'm sure we can force each other onto the repeater if we need to continue the conversation. So this is not over by any means, but in any case, I really appreciate you being here tonight, and I hope you all have an excellent, excellent Christmas and a great week this week as we lead up to that. I don't know about you, but I know that in the office it's going to be like a ghost town the further we get towards Christmas, and sometimes it's a really nice thing because it just gets quiet, and it's just a time to reflect and enjoy yourself a little bit. So I hope you have a great week and a Merry Christmas, and I will catch you again next Sunday night, same time, same place, and we'll see what kind of stuff Santa has brought you all. I think that'll be a fun topic, see what kind of stuff you got for Christmas that you can use. So, in any case, we will shut it down. This is, same bat time, same bat channel. There you go. This is KV4UP, closing the Sunday Night Tech Forum, returning the repeater to normal operation, saying 73. I hope you all have an excellent week. Take care. 73 is KV4UP.
KM4 PPO, it was a pleasure listening to this forum. 73 to everybody. Good night.
Good night, Jamie. Thanks a lot for being here. And we're here this time every week, so it's a great opportunity to get to know a little bit about what we do and some of these fine folks who are around here. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week, Jamie. KM4 PPL is KV4UP.